Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Ballin'burgers. My name is Mike, and once again, we are going to be talking about the Kingdom Hearts trading card game. Today, we're going to focus on the player cards. Now, when it comes to player cards, there's only a few characters that you can actually play as. These are Sora, Riku, Dark Riku, Ansem, Axel, Zeldin, and Roxas. Now, of all these characters, they are broken up into different types. That being Light, Dark, or Organization 13, or just 13. So let's start things off with the Light players, these being Sora and Riku. Now, this is the most common form of deck. The player cards determine what kind of deck you can build based on if they are a Light, Dark, or 13 player. So as I said, Light is the most common or the easiest deck to build. Because there are no strange little gimmicks to these cards. The other ones, as you'll see in a couple minutes, have certain requirements to each of them. But as for Light, you can build pretty much any type of deck that you want. It goes without saying that, your friends are your friends, your Heartless are the enemies, and, you can carry magic, you can carry attack cards, blah, blah, blah. You can have anything you want, pretty much. The only restrictions are the standard deck sizes, 40 to 60 cards. However many cards you want in between there. Alright, so let's move on to the Dark player cards. This would be Ansem and Dark Riku. Both of these characters have quite a bit different stats. If you look at Ansem, he is level 10 versus Dark Riku being level 3. Ansem is the only player card that is actually at level 10. Now, both of these characters have a description on their card that explain how the Dark players or the Dark decks need to be built. There are certain specifications that you must follow when building this kind of deck. So I'm just going to read this off here for you guys. You cannot play attack cards, friend cards, magic friend cards, and equipment cards. You may put dark cards into your friend area as if they were your friend cards. You may play dark cards of the same name in this manner. The support value of dark cards played into your friend area is half of their POW rounded down. Treat these cards as both dark cards and as friend cards. So, it obviously makes sense that these Dark characters would have Heartless as friends rather than having Donald, Goofy, and Aladdin and everybody else's actual friends, because that doesn't really make sense. The trick here is finding a good way to set up what kind of Heartless that you want, because you still have to follow that level up sequence with your friends, going from level 1 to level 2 to level 3, and so on and so forth. So, it's kind of hard to decide what cards you're going to play as your friends and which ones you want to hold down to use as actual enemy cards for your opponent. So the last category here is the Organization 13 players. Now these are Axel, Zeldin, and Roxas, but Roxas is actually a little bit different. He's got a little extra bit to him that makes him almost his own class in a sense. So let's take a look at Axel and read his description. Zeldin's is the exact same, except for Axel has a little extra blurb at the end. So let's take a look. You cannot play attack cards, friend cards, and magic friend cards. You may put your nobody cards and player 13 cards into your friend card area as friend cards. The support value for a nobody's card played in your friend area is half of their POW rounded down. Treat nobody cards as both nobody cards and friend cards. Axel can play all fire effect magic cards regardless of magic value. If you use Axel in a challenge against Roxas, you lose 5 attack value. So Zeldin is pretty much the same, except it doesn't have that little extra blurb about Axel being able to use fire magic and the minus attack power for Roxas. As you can tell, these Organization 13 members are similar to the Dark player cards, except for using Heartless, they use Nobodies instead. Stands to reason. Now, as I said before, Roxas is a little bit different. Let's take a look at what his description says right now. Treat this card as Mysterious Boy card. At the beginning of the game, choose one Oathkeeper equipment card from your deck and equip it to this card. Then shuffle your deck. This card can only be equipped with Oathkeeper and Oblivion equipment cards. Only Twilight Town friend cards and Samurai Nobody cards can be used as friend cards with this card. So, Roxas has a bit more to him than the other Player 13 cards. Personally, I feel like to build a deck for Roxas would be very difficult because of the limits that he has on his friends. You'd need to have a ton of samurais and a ton of Twilight friends in your deck. And the number of Twilight friends actually available to you is quite limited. And they have that same name effect where you can't have 2 Pences or 2 Hainers in your friend area at once. So, in my eyes, it makes it very difficult to actually play as Roxas. If you guys disagree and you guys know of a proper way to play as Roxas, please let me know in the comments. I would love to know more about this card. I don't have nearly enough cards to make an actual deck for myself with this player. But with that being said, that pretty much sums up the differences between the player types, and that's all I really wanted to go over for this video. The only other things worth mentioning for the player cards is that the different levels for each player will determine their health and their attack power. It will vary between which level that player is, and also each character has their own stats. They're all a little bit different. So you gotta find one that actually fits your playstyle. Even if you're going to do a light deck, there are, obviously 3 different levels for Sora, which can change the way you want to set up your deck. If you choose a higher level Sora, his attack power will be higher, but his health will be lower. So that being the case, you may want to take an extra Cure Magic or an extra Tinkerbell, that way you can get some of that lost health back. So I think that'll just about do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and maybe next time we'll get into a little bit more with this game. If you guys really like these videos that I'm doing with the Kingdom Hearts trading card game, be sure to let me know. That way I can keep putting them out and making you guys happy. Also, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss those episodes when I decide to put them out. And hey, you can check out some of our other videos as well. They're pretty interesting. We talk about a lot of different stuff, so yeah, feel free to take a look. See you later, guys.